Hello YouTube coin collectors and stackers. Today we're going to be looking at the Morgan dollars I revealed when we did the latest unboxing of the collection I bought last week. I'll post the video link down below to that video where we look at part one of this crazy collection I bought. Today I wanted to just focus in on the Morgan dollars. Of course you see some peace dollars down here as well, but the Morgan dollars that toned and turned these beautiful colors over time in this collection, and some of them are just stunning. All of them are going into PCGS tomorrow to be graded. And if we kind of look up here, we see this box full of little envelopes. These envelopes are what these Morgan dollars and peace dollars were stored in over decades. And if we flip it over, we can see, the P, Philly, BU, Unk. Not sure what the upper right stands for, what 211 means. But these envelopes contain sulfur. The paper in these contains sulfur. Again, these envelopes are then stored in this box, which also contains sulfur, and the cardboard and the paper in this box. And then, of course, you have all of these envelopes in here together. And what happens when sulfur and silver come into contact with one another is we get something called silver sulfide. And that's what causes these colors on the coins. And look at how beautiful that is. I'm going to explain in a moment why it turns different colors, what's actually going on chemically with the metals. But let's just appreciate some of these real pretty ones that I have here. Let's see. Sorry, this is a handheld one for me. Look at this stunner. It's the first time I've done a handheld on a YouTube video, but I wanted to just get these under the right kind of light, not the ring light, a nice grading lamp, so you guys could actually see and appreciate the colors on these. This one's got the purples and the blues all around the edge with the orange and golds. Just a beautiful one. Look at how the purple transitions around 1882 at 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. It just transitions from blue to purple and all the way up and around. This is probably one of my favorite ones. I'm dying to see what kind of a grade this one gets. Let's see. This is a real pretty one here. This one. Look at how clean that is. Little chatter on the cheek and in the field, but I mean, it's just a stunner. So clean, so nice, really pretty. And you'll notice that with the exception of the peace dollars, all of these are 1882 Phillies. I'm not sure why. There's so many 1882 Phillies in here. I think we looked at that one. Let's look at this one. But that's what this person had in the collection. You can see some greens on this one, and the blues and the purples. It's a really nice color spectrum here. It's probably the most saturated of the coins. The reverse didn't get it quite as bad. You get a little down the edge there, 5, 6, 4 o'clock. It's out of that area. One of the ones that got really saturated, and this one's for sale on my eBay store right now. It's hard because I have it in the flip. I should have probably busted out a flip for the video. But you can see it there. You can see the reds and the purples and so on this one. I'll put the link to my eBay store down below, but this one's for sale right now. I don't think this one warranted going in for grading, but it's a really, really stunning coin when you see it in person. Again, it's hard to kind of get it in this light, but in person it's really, really pretty. But it's probably the most saturated of all the coins that we have. Some of them have this sort of blotchiness going on, because not all toning is good, and I would not call this. You got some blues and stuff on the edge. It's not terrible, but this splotchy toning is not something that people particularly are looking for when they're looking at these coins. You want something that's a little more even around the edges. This is a little bit lighter on the toning on this one, and it's a little heavier on the reverse that you can see here. Again, you can just see how clean these coins are. Look at the cartwheel on it. It's just, these things have probably been sitting in here forever. But let's talk about what's going on with silver sulfide and why we have all of these different colors. And I'll probably take my favorite of the bunch, this one, and then you have another one that's pretty cool too. But if we look at this one, we see there's oranges. We see there's areas that haven't been touched by anything. There's a little bit of rub there, maybe from rubbing on the envelope in front of her face and next to her neck and on her neck. We see that we have some blues going all the way around the edge, and we also see some purples there. If we flip it over, we're going to see blues and purples as well along the edge More on the bottom to the left side of the coin than the right side, but it's certainly there. So what is actually going on? And there are my dogs running by, if you hear some clickety-clack in the background. So as the silver reacts with the sulfur in the environment, in this case, these paper envelopes and this cardboard holder that it was in, what happens is the silver starts to react with the sulfur, and we get what's called silver sulfide. And you would think that, silver sulfide would just turn one color. And it does if you leave them in there long enough for a long enough period of time or expose these to enough sulfur, they turn black. And what's happening when they turn black is the silver sulfide has gotten very, very, very thick. We're talking probably 120 to 130 nanometers. Now we're talking about nanometers. We don't think of things being thick, but they're really thin thicknesses. But if we look at this coin, what we can see no toning on these sort of splotchy areas here in front of her eye, neck, and on her neck. And then we got this golden color that we kind of get. Let me zoom in here a little closer. We have this golden color here that we see sort of all along her face, right above her hair there, and around the side here. And we see that this golden color transitions into an orange, and then a little bit of red, a little tiny bit of red, purple, and then blue. So why does it do that? The answer is it's the thicknesses of the silver sulfide, and it's the same thing that happens when we talk about looking at a soap bubble and seeing the rainbows on a soap bubble. The phenomenon is called thin film interference. And the same thing is happening here. So as the silver sulfide gets thicker, it changes colors. So at 50 or so nanometers of thickness, we have something that's golden. This yellow is beyond that, probably more like 60 to 70. As we get from 70 to 80, we start to get to oranges and reds, 80 to 90, and up to 100, we start getting the blues and the purples. Much beyond 110, 120, that's when it starts to turn black. And that's when it gets super, super heinously ugly, right? And we look at it and we're like, oh my God. And we definitely have some of those. I actually have a couple of barbers. If you bear with me for a moment, I will show you. You can hear me rolling across. And where did I put those? Oh, here they are. You can see in this. I have them down here in this part of the collection. So let's talk about what happens when. And you guys, this is like an action video here, but this is where thin film interference and toning goes bad. This is just like, this is not what you want to see. This is beyond repair. You can't dip this off. There's nothing that's going to happen here. This is just an ugly brown. So this is at the extreme end, and it's really a fine line, right, between this and what happens to create this sort of gorgeous piece and these guys. Again, this is my first action video. I mean, this one, someone even clipped a piece off of this one. This poor barber. This poor, sorry, 1900. Oh my God. But we're not here to talk about abuse of coins. We're just talking about what happens as we start to transition over time. And that's what you get, right? As we go, the beautiful, beautiful toning that we see on the left to something where we've just gone beyond the pale. You still see some areas that are untouched, but this coin is well beyond, say, 130 nanometers of silver sulfide, and it's really penetrated into the skin of the coin, and there's no coming back from it. What's interesting is that these peace dollars here, here's a 1923 peace dollar, these didn't tone at all. Like, not at all. Not even a little bit. So, and they were in the same box, in the same folders, in the same little envelopes, for presumably, the last several decades. This is an old collection. The newest thing in this collection was from 1980. And this toning on here, I don't think it's from the envelope. I think this almost looks like it was an ender and a roll at one point. But it's hard to tell. Let's see if there's any other gorgeous ones. We kind of do a zoom over here on some of these as we look, just to kind of wrap up the video. And you can see they're all 82 Phillies, but some real stunners in the bunch. And it's really interesting to see just the differences. They're all in the same environment. They're all in the same envelopes. And they all kind of turned out differently. And the peace dollars have zero toning at all, which I think is interesting. And then this guy right here was not in these envelopes. It was just sort of free floating around in a box with some other ones that were just sort of thrown in all together. And again, in a similar kind of box like this guy, I'm going to zoom out. Similar kind of box like this guy, but they were just in there, in no envelopes, just raw, just thrown in the box. Well, guys, again, thank you for dealing with my first action-packed video of me sliding around on my chair and dogs coming in and out and all the stuff that was going on. But I just wanted to be in a position where I could, really take these and get them under the right light, because I really do have a hard time with the ring light, getting these to look correct and as gorgeous as they are. As always, please like and subscribe. I keep meaning to mention that at the beginning of the video, and I do it at the end. And thanks for watching. And as always, happy collecting.